Alright, what's up guys, it's Brain Bro. It is April 14th and I've already gotten my first piece of equipment for my new aquaponics system that I'm putting together. And just to let y'all know, I'm not taking any shortcuts on doing this. I'm going to be doing this probably possibly a 3-part series, just on how I think an aquaponics system should be started up. So I've already moved my goldfish in here. They're maybe a little stressed out because I moved them earlier in the day. The water's completely clean. I didn't use the water from my aquaponics system. I'm not going to use the media from my aquaponics system, and I'm not going to add in any of the ornamental stuff that that was with these guys. Actually, I'll wait a couple of months to do that, just so I'm not cutting any corners on starting this up. But yeah guys, just to let you know what my process is going to be, I plan on doing probably 50% water changes weekly, and with the water I'm just going to be adding it into my already established aquaponics system and just refilling with rainwater. So that being said, once I get, let's see, I'm waiting on my pump and the grow bed, and I will definitely add in the next clip as soon as I get those pieces of equipment. Alright, so what's up guys? We are on day 5 of having the aquaponics system up and going. The goldfish are happy. Everybody's nice and stress-free. I haven't had to do any water changes yet, and I haven't even done any water tests yet, but we are using rainwater, which usually comes out of the pH at about 6.5, 6.7 or so. So they're chilling in a slightly slightly more alkaline water. So what I'm fixing to try and work on right now is I got my pump, and I happen to have all the PVC stuff that I need to rig something up, you know, and if you have half-inch PVC fittings, they actually fit with this pump. I'm going to include the links of all the equipment I'm using, including the grow bed, the pump, and the fish tank right now. And hopefully next week I'll be able to order my lights. But for now, I'm fixing to try and use this bucket to make a little radial flow filter of sorts. We're going to kind of mount it right here. I'm going to try and cut it down to where it'll go underneath the actual grow bed and kind of sit on top of the fish tank. But I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do yet. I will spend a few hours working on that probably, and I will let you know what I come up with. And before the end of this video, I'm going to be doing water testing. So I'm going to test the pH, I'm going to test the ammonia, I'm going to test the nitrites, and I'm going to test the nitrates. Another thing I'm working on right now is getting some biochar. Now the reason I'm getting some biochar and I'm making it myself is because I'm going to use that as my grow media for cycling my system. And the reason that will be beneficial is because the biochar is basically a carbon source, you know, similar to carbon filter or whatever. So I put that in my grow bed, and while the system is cycling, A, it keeps the system clean, B, you are inoculating that biochar with all the beneficial bacteria. So we're going to be able to utilize both of those benefits in the long run. So I probably, to be completely honest, I won't really have to be doing water changes. I'm going to run the biochar a few times I mean, I'm gonna run the water through the bed with the biochar in it a few times, do some water testing and see what happens. But before I do that, it's important that I get my little radial flow filter set up. So that's what I'm gonna work on doing, and I'll record that. Hopefully I can get the biochar done by the end of the day. If not, then it's gonna be another clip. It's gonna be added onto this video anyway. But yeah, I will be returning with you guys. Alright, so I've decided to go ahead and go with the same type of drain away system I've been using, and that uses a little screw down there to hold the pipe in place, and then I drill a few holes down around at the bottom of the pipe to allow the water to slowly drain back down when the pump stops. And as you can see, it's on right now. The water's almost up to the top of the pipe, and so let me go ahead and show you what came up with. This is the bucket I was showing you earlier. I was looking around for some kind of baffling device for the radial flow filter. Alright, so I went ahead and decided to go with the radial flow filter simply because I wanted to try it out and see how it worked out. You could have just as easily put a swirl filter on this, but I want to show you something very interesting. Alright, so as this goes, this is a swirl filter combined with a radial flow filter. So this little thing right here, which was an old potato salad container, basically, now you can do this one of two ways. You could have had this elbow pointing up, which the reason I don't have it pointing up is because the water level wouldn't come down in the grow bed. So I was like, alright, let's see what else we can do. Turned it to the side, and immediately I got the idea, like, holy shit, that's gonna work like a swirl filter. And then just looking at it, it looks like it is, you know, kind of acting as a swirl filter. So we got a swirl filter slash radial flow filter. This still directs everything down to the bottom, you know, just as it was in just as it would in a radial flow filter. And my container is a square container. It's the only difference, you know. But this, by definition, is a radial flow combined with a swirling action baffle. So I guess let's go ahead and finish up with some testing, guys. Alright, so first up we got pH. And it looks like we're sitting somewhere around the 7.2. So in pH we got 7.2. Let's move on to ammonia. Alright, so we got the ammonia here right down the middle, and as you can see, we're pretty much right between the 4 and the 8 mark, so that's pretty high. So we are going to go ahead and do a 50% water change on it. Now, another thing that I didn't actually mention this far into the video is the reason that I'm using goldfish is A, I already had them, and B, they're real tolerant to the ammonia levels and whatnot. So as long as we keep on doing weekly water changes, then they should stay happy in there. Now, while I was testing the nitrites, I kind of realized something. That if there's no nitrites, then there's no point in me testing nitrates, because you have to wait for the ammonia to establish the nitrites. Then you have to wait for the nitrites to establish the nitrates. So let me just show you here that we are in fact at 0 with nitrites. So we don't have any active biological filter quite yet, but that'll come within time, you know. about 1 month in, you're pretty much starting to get your nitrifying bacteria established, and then well, your nitrites anyway. And I also I wasn't able to get any biochar made today, and I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video. So during the next video, hopefully I should be able to go ahead and grab me some media and my light. So I'm gonna do a mix of the biochar, clay pebbles, and probably grow stones again if I can afford it at the time. If not, then I'm just gonna do either grow stones or the clay pebbles, but the biochar is definitely going in because of, like I said, the benefits I mentioned already earlier in the video. So guys, that's gonna pretty much go ahead and wrap it up for the first part of the new aquaponics startup. And as always, I appreciate anyone who took the time to make it all the way through the video. Make sure you thumbs up and subscribe if you enjoyed or found it useful. Definitely subscribe so you can get the second and probably third parts in your notifications. But that's pretty much gonna go ahead and do it, guys. So peace out from Brain Grow.